Hello, everybody. Welcome back live on the air. Our sponsor tonight is John Jones. John Jones Real Estate. Nobody sells homes like John. Going to roll over to Williamson County. Going to talk to a very happy Raptor coach, head coach of the Ravenwood Raptors. He is sitting at 3-0. They were in a tough one Friday night at home at Ravenwood. They won against Blackman 14-7. We bring live and on the air head coach Will Hester. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing good, Stuart. Thanks for having me on.
Well, big win for you and your program, and Blackman is a little better than some people might imagine, but Raptors able to come away with a 14-7 win. Take us through it, your style.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I would say, a sloppy night for both teams. A lot of penalties. I think there was close to 30 penalties called between the two
What?
teams, so I'm not sure if
What?
it's the teams being sloppy or the people seeing the sloppiness, saw some things. I don't know, but a lot of penalties. So I think we had 3 touchdowns called back, 3 or 4 touchdowns called back at different times. Yeah, it was a sloppy night, but glad we were able to come out on top. I thought our defense played really, really well for the most part. Blackman's real big up front on the offensive line and got some really talented receivers. So to hold them just to 7 points, that's a big game for us.
Yeah, I haven't had the chance to see them, but they say they're young in some areas and strong in others, and if they can grow up, they're going to be a threat come late in October as we move into the playoffs.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think they'll definitely be a playoff team in that league, and I think as you're saying, as they mature as a team throughout the season, they're going to be tough out in the playoffs for sure.
Where did you feel like your team grew up? You said you played real well on defense. Was you able to get a lot of kids in? Talking to National Hall of Fame coach Gary Rankin earlier, he's stressing you got to start building depth right now. If you want to make a run in the playoffs, you got to stick some kids out there and give them a shot, and not so much in mop-up games, but they've got to have some reps when it's real, when it's a 14-7 football game.
Yeah, I think we played 29 different guys on defense and a few less than that, like 26 or 27 on offense. So we got then obviously special teams, there were some more guys in there. But on offense and defense, I think we played close to a little over 50 guys. So, not bad getting a lot of guys out there. Definitely feel pretty solid about the 2 deep, trying to get some guys that would be a third in there, build some time for those guys because those injuries could pile up between now and playoff times. You got to make sure that you're prepared for that. Speaking
of injuries, did you get away Friday night okay?
We did, knock on wood. No new injuries, so it was, good. I think we dodged the rain. There were some people that got some pretty bad rain. We got a little bit in the fourth quarter, but nothing too bad.
You've been a coach for a long time. You've coached in some hurricane games, and when the rain is, in the wind, and you become one-dimensional. What do you try to tell your guys? I mean, have you tried to prepare for that this week? That if we get to one-dimensional, this is who we are, but they'll probably have to be in the same boat, don't you think? If you can't throw it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, as long as Coach Williams has been doing it, we've both had those kinds of games. I remember Hurricane Ivan one year. We all moved games to Thursday, and Thursday ended up being the worst of it. Which is why I think we chose to leave it on Friday because it looks like both days are going to be pretty equally bad this week. But, I mean, you've got to do what you got to do to be successful. The team who doesn't put the ball on the ground in those kind of situations is going to be better off. We're all playing kind of on these turf fields, most of us now, which has changed. Back in the day, we were all slopping around in the mud, which made it worse. So, it'll be fun. I think the kids will enjoy playing in the rain. As long as that old lightning stays away, we don't have any delays and that kind of stuff. I think it'll be fun.
Well, and the other thing is, just like you said, as long as it's safe and the wind will be up a little bit. But the funny thing about it is, I was recently at a state championship game on a Saturday night, and I watched a 6A football club, and I mean, it poured the rain completely the entire game. So this is a great test because you don't know what type of weather you're going to get when you get to Chattanooga. Am I correct?
Yeah, 100%. You got to be prepared for everything. So yeah, I mean, obviously, we're not playing in domes in the playoffs, so you can see anything in playoff weather. It can be snowing. I remember I think it was maybe a Riverdale versus Red Bank game back in the day. There was some snow on the field. When the championship games were in Murfreesboro, so it could get anything that time of year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Coach, I'm glad you're healthy. I'm happy that you're 3-0. Let's talk a little bit about it. You've got this Bulldog team coming at you next, and they're 1-2. Talk a little bit about Matt Williams' Bulldogs, and he's off to a shaky start, but was able to come away with a big win against Siegel, and that is a rivalry no matter what. Anytime Rutherford plays Rutherford, it's a rivalry, and you know what I'm talking about. You've been in it.
Yep. And, we saw them twice last year, played Smyrna in the regular season, and then in round 2 of the playoffs last year. So, very similar team. Both of us had a few guys graduate, but in the end, the majority of the teams are back on both sides. And, they're your typical Smyrna Bulldog team. They're super physical, and, they play with a lot of community pride. And, once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. And, I would say Smyrna has more of a kind of community feel than just about any of the rest of us. They've been doing it for a long time, and a lot of pride in that community.
Yeah, and when I first started cutting my feet, my teeth, that's where I was literally getting ready to say got my feet under me, and that was at Smyrna. And one of the biggest rivalries that was hanging around was Smyrna and Laverne, and you was head coach at Laverne, and I was over at Smyrna, so I could remember many of and I remember coming over to your place and y'all coming over to ours, and we had that TV game, and then met us in the playoffs, and there's been a lot of great games between what I would say Will Hester takes on Smyrna, regardless if it's at Ravenwood or Laverne. You're going to give them a good battle. You're going to take your team in, aren't you, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and there was a state championship game that was a Smyrna Bulldog team coached by Shad that played Ravenwood in the finals in 2006, I believe, if I remember correct. So,
that's right. That's exactly right.
There's a lot of history between Ravenwood and Smyrna as well, as much as there is with Will Hester and Smyrna. So Smyrna's always been a tough opponent no matter what it is, and we'll have another tough game on our hands, probably in the rain on Friday night.
Yeah, you got Sonny. Ravenwood got Sonny that year over there, but they didn't get him when he went to Murfreesboro. Yeah, but he got him there. So
Yep.
you're correct.
Sure do.
So anyway, Coach, good luck Friday night against Smyrna. Come away with a win. We hope you stay healthy, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Stuart.
See you. Bye.